Welcome to all the participants for joining the session. So आज का सेशन एक इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक के ऊपर है रिगार्डिंग मैनेजिंग रिस्क ड्यूरिंग वॉलेटाइल टाइम्स। तो मैं सेशन इंग्लिश और हिंदी दोनों मिक्स में लूँगा so that it is for the benefit of the audience. At the end of the session, we'll be having a Q&A session. So participants who have any questions regarding the topic, please do ask your queries. I'll try to answer them. Yeah, so without wasting any further time, let's get started with the session. तो पहले ये सारे टॉपिक्स हम लोग कवर करने वाले हैं। तो जब भी वॉलेटिलिटी होती है वी नीड टू डिस्कस अ बिट अबाउट इंडिया विक्स एज वेल। इंडिया विक्स एक क्रूशियल इंडिकेटर है जो वॉलेटिलिटी के बारे में इंडिकेशन देता है एंड इट इज जनरली ट्रैक्ड ड्यूरिंग एक्सट्रीम वॉलेटिलिटी ऑफ द मार्केट। साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन या एक ट्रेंडिंग मार्केट रहता है तो विक्स टेंड्स टू बी रिलेटिवली सबड्यूड। लेकिन जब भी मार्केट में एक्सट्रीम वॉलेटिलिटी होती है VIX acts as a good indicator to give a judgment about the volatility of the market. Other than that, we'll be discussing position sizing के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। position sizing का फॉर्मूला especially for जब भी आप स्टॉक्स में ट्रेड कर रहे हो how can you make use of position sizing formula to determine the type or the quantity। आपको जितना कितना क्वांटिटी लेना है, अगर आपको प्री डिफाइंड लॉस मालूम है आपको कि एक पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड में आपको इतना ही लॉस करना है, देन व्हाट इज द क्वांटिटी दैट यू हैव टू टेक व्हाइल टेकिंग अ पोजीशन, ये हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे पोजीशन साइजिंग में। उसके अलावा वेरियस स्ट्रेटजीज डिस्कस करेंगे जब भी मार्केट वॉलेटाइल रहता है, व्हाट आर द वेरियस स्ट्रेटजीज दैट यू कैन कंसिडर। तो जब भी ट्रेंडिंग रहता है तो आप स्प्रेड में कैसे काम कर सकते हो, एक्सट्रीम वॉलेटिलिटी रहता है तो आप स्ट्रैंगल स्ट्रैडल कैसे यूज कर सकते हो। एंड इसके अलावा जो मेजर पॉइंट्स रहते हैं जो मार्केट के जब भी आप डेरिवेटिव्स में ट्रेड कर रहे हो, व्हाट आर द मेन पॉइंटर्स टू कीप एट द बैक ऑफ द माइंड, ये भी हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे। सो एक बार हम लोग हिस्टोरिकल वॉलेटिलिटी के बारे में आई विल जस्ट ब्रीफली एक्सप्लेन व्हाई इंडिया विक्स इज एन इम्पोर्टेंट इंडिकेटर। सी विक्स जो है, इंडिया विक्स जो है, इट इज स्लाइटली कॉम्प्लेक्स इन कैलकुलेशन। इसको हमको वी डू नॉट नीड टू गो इनटू द कैलकुलेशन पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया विक्स बिकॉज इट इज ऑलरेडी अ प्री डिफाइंड, मतलब ये इट इज ऑलरेडी कैलकुलेटेड फॉर अस। व्हाट इट बेसिकली डज, इट टेक्स द नेक्स्ट मंथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स जो आउट ऑफ द मनी के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स रहते हैं, इसको लिया जाता है एंड द विक्स वैल्यू इज कैलकुलेटेड। द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग टू नोट इज विक्स जो है it can rise when there is extreme buying of option. It does not have to be put option या call option। जब भी मार्केट में extreme buying of options होती है तभी VIX बढ़ता है। but it is generally been seen that when the markets are trending, जब भी मार्केट ऊपर के डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है, no one does panic and buys call options या put options। तभी कुछ ज्यादा पैनिक नहीं रहता है मार्केट में। the real panic which sets in is when there is a sharp correction in the market। जब भी एक करेक्शन होती है तभी पैनिक में पब्लिक पुट ऑप्शंस बाय करते हैं। द रीजन फॉर दिस इज ऑलमोस्ट 70-80% जो ट्रेडर्स रहते हैं वो लॉन्ग अलोन ट्रेडर्स, मतलब बुलिश ट्रेडर्स रहते हैं जिनका कैश सेगमेंट में पोजीशन रहता है या फिर एक लॉन्ग पोजीशन रहता है। तो उसको हेज करने के लिए या मार्केट स्पेकुलेट करने के लिए, इवन द लार्ज पोर्टफोलियो ट्रेडर्स जिनके पास लार्ज पोर्टफोलियो रहते हैं, उनको अगर पोर्टफोलियो हेज करना है then buying put options is one of the methods to do that। तो जब भी मार्केट में एक शार्प करेक्शन की एंटिसिपेशन रहती है या एक शार्प करेक्शन आता है, that is the time there is a sharp या frantic buying of put options। तो इसके कारण इंडिया विक्स ऊपर चला जाता है। that is the time when there is sharp buying of options, especially put options, India VIX tends to move on the upside। that is why इंडिया विक्स को हम लोग जनरली एक कॉन्ट्रा इंडिकेटर की तरफ देखते हैं। When India VIX tends to rise, the markets tend to correct, and when the markets are on a rising phase, India VIX tends to correct। So आप currently देख सकते हो कि India VIX currently it has been trading between the range of 10 and 14, ये एक range bound manner में। बट अगर आप इलेक्शंस के फेज में अगर आप देखोगे, इंडिया विक्स ऑलमोस्ट मूव टुवर्ड्स लेवल्स ऑफ 30। फिर कोविड के फेज में या फिर 2008 सब प्राइम क्राइसिस में, दीज आर द टाइम्स व्हेन द विक्स जनरली टेंड्स टू विटनेस अ शार्प अपटिक because public को एक fear रहता है, you do not know what is the outcome which is going to come out। So it is only ahead of unseen events that the actual VIX is of great significance। Normal markets में VIX It helps you as a contra indicator, but it does not witness wild movements. It is only during sharp phases या फिर extreme panic that time VIX tends to rise. So I hope everyone has understood that VIX tends to rise when there is frantic buying of options. ये call option भी हो सकता है, ये put option भी हो सकता है, but generally we observe that frantic buying of options generally happens on the put side rather than the call side. तो आप जब भी अगर हिस्टोरिकल इलेक्शन के सामने अगर वॉलिटिलिटी को देखोगे, विक्स को देखोगे, it generally tends to witness an uptick. So these are times that you should know that post the election खत्म होते ही एकदम से विक्स टूटने का भी चांस है. During the phase of COVID, no one knew when COVID would come to an end. तो तभी विक्स had almost shot up to almost 75-80 levels on the upside. But during during the election phase and all, it generally moves towards levels of 25-30 की तरफ जाता है. एंड जब भी इलेक्शन खत्म होता है तुरंत ही विक्स वापस अपने रेंज के अंदर आ भी जाता है. सो यू शुड नो दैट वंस द इवेंट इज ओवर, जैसे कि एक आरबीआई पॉलिसी या एक फेड पॉलिसी, so these are events wherein you know that the next day the event is going to get over. So once the event is over, there tends to be a sharp decline in VIX as well. तो जब भी वॉलिटिलिटी गिर जाती है, एकदम से गिर जाती है, आपका ऑप्शन प्रीमियम भी बहुत फास्ट टूट जाता है. मतलब दैट इज नोन एज आईवी क्रश जो हम लोग बोलते हैं. एक पर्टिकुलर इवेंट होते ही ऑप्शन के प्रीमियम में एक शार्प डिक्लाइन देखी जाती है, उसे हम लोग आईवी क्रश भी कहते हैं. So it is important to know that once the event is over, the volatility also tends to shrink dramatically, and you should know how to play these particular events. So we'll just take an example of how to hedge your portfolio. जब भी आपका एक large portfolio रहता है, now it is the current markets, the markets are at all time high, but you never know when a major event could be around the corner, negative event. So I'll just explain in terms of lot sizes how you can consider. तो मान लो आपका एक अलग अलग आपका अंडरलाइंग पोर्टफोलियो वैल्यू से हमने एक्सप्लेन किया है कि आपका अगर पोर्टफोलियो वैल्यू कितना है तो आप कितने लॉट से आपका पोर्टफोलियो हेज कर सकते हैं. सी हेजिंग इज अ एक्टिविटी जिसमें आपको कॉस्ट होता ही होता है. देयर इज नो वे दैट यू कैन डू फ्री हेजिंग. हेजिंग के लिए आपको एक कॉस्ट लगेगा एंड इट इज लाइक एन इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम. आपको मालूम नहीं पड़ेगा, आपको कभी जरूरत पड़ेगी उसकी. There are times when the markets may remain sideways and continue to trend on the upside. That time the premium that you pay to do the hedging you will have to pay it to the market. मतलब आप कुछ नहीं होने वाला है और फिर भी आपका प्रीमियम जाने वाला है. It is only when there is a sharp correction जो जब भी आएगा, that time the option that you have used as hedge will come into the picture and that will help you protect your losses to a certain extent. So hedging on a day-to-day basis for a normal portfolio investor would not make any major sense. It is once in a while when there is an extremely large event which is round the corner and you know that event khatam hote hi once again everything is going to be normal and you want to continue holding your portfolio. Those are the times when you can consider to do a hedge. So suppose you have a portfolio of 10 lakhs, you can consider to buy at the current. It's just from an explanation point of view, I'm just trying to explain how you can make use of put options to hedge your existing long only portfolios. So take the scenario that you have a portfolio of 10 lakhs. Why we are considering two lots of Nifty is if you multiply 25,000 into 2 into 25, which is the lot size of Nifty, it comes to approximately 12 lakhs around is the value which comes around. So 1 lakh of Nifty at the current price is around 6.5 lakhs. It's very challenging. See, the portfolio value and the lot size of contract value of Nifty may never match completely. There are times, see 25 lakhs, 50 lakhs, currently it is absolutely matching. But if you have a portfolio of 10 lakhs, it is of 12 lakhs, 13 lakhs, you will not get an exact hedge. So वो जो value है, sometimes it will be either slightly lower or slightly higher. So 25,000 into 2 into 25, that comes to approximately 12 lakhs. So if you have a portfolio of 10 lakhs around, you can buy two lots of Nifty put option of the current strike price or the strike price that you want to hedge against the event which is there. तो मान लो आपका अगर एक 25 लाख का पोर्टफोलियो है, then you can consider to buy 4 lots of Nifty. Likewise, if you have a portfolio of around 50 lakhs, you can consider to buy 8 to 9 lots of Nifty option. So these are the different values that you can consider to how many lots you want to purchase. It is based on the contract value of the contract value. So जब भी जैसे जैसे निफ्टी बढ़ते जाता है, आपका number of lots required will be less to hedge your portfolio. So take the scenario that Nifty is trading at 25,050 levels, and there is a sharp correction of about 1,000 points in Nifty in the next 2-3 trading days. This is just from an example point of view what I want to explain. So suppose there is a sharp drop in Nifty from 25,050 to 24,000 levels, almost a correction of 1,050 points. So suppose you have a portfolio of 10 lakhs, there will be an approximate loss of around 4% in your portfolio if the index witnesses a correction of 1,000 points. So around 40,000 would be your loss on your portfolio. This is a notional loss. But if you had purchased a put option, that is 2 lots of Nifty, if you had purchased, then you could recover certain amount of your losses. मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं कि आपका जो पूरा का पूरा लॉस हुआ है वो रिकवर हो सकता है, but to an extent you can recover your losses. So if there is a correction, suppose now we have bought put options worth 10,000, because next week ka 25,000 ka, if you go and check in the option chain, this is from an example perspective, but it is roundabout similar. If you check the next expiry, that is 5th September expiry, if I am not wrong, 25,000 put option is currently quoting around 200 rupees. So if you purchase 2 lots of that into the lot size, it is approximately 10,000 worth of rupees that you pay to the market to hedge your portfolio. So 200 is what you pay to purchase. 10,000 is what you pay to purchase the 2 lot size to purchase the options. Now suppose there is a 1,000 point correction in the market, your 200 rupees premium will move approximately towards 600 rupees on the upside. So 600 is where the 25,000 call option, 25,000 put option can go to if there is a 1,000 point correction in the market, because the delta of the at the money is not 1. It will not move by directly 1,000 points in your favor. It will move by around 400, 500 points in your favor if there is a 1,000 point correction in the market. So from 200, your option premium will go to around 600 rupees. So 400 net 400 is your total profit. So 400 into 2 into 25 is your total profit. So around 20,000 is what you will make from this particular strategy, and you have a loss of about 40,000 if there is a correction. So net through hedging, you are able to protect about 20,000 of your portfolio losses. So likewise, you will have to mix and match and see because portfolio hedging, like I mentioned, you will not get an exact one-on-one hedge on your portfolio. And even if you do absolute hedging, it will not be of any use if you constantly are hedging your portfolio. Agar market मान लो if there every time you are hedged your portfolio, then you will not have profit also, you will not have loss also. Every time whatever the markets are giving you on the profit side, because of your hedging exact 1:1 delta, you will face means कोई profit बनेगा ही नहीं. So always the hedging has to be slightly less than the portfolio value. But during extreme events जैसे कोविड हो या फिर यूएस का इलेक्शन आ रहा है and you expect that there could be a major correction in the market, or you feel the markets are extremely overvalued and there could be a global war like scenario and you want to hedge, those are times where you can consider to hedge your portfolio, and hedging will protect your capital to a certain extent. These are few points regarding the volatility of the market. So you should understand the type of markets you are trading in. When is the markets volatile? Kabhi market ka volatility means you will understand based on the price action itself. Like last week was an extremely it was a trending market, but the volatility was very less. Nifty was just moving about 50-60 points in one trading session. If you see the time of COVID is a very rare example, but I just want, because to understand it clearly, you should know that during the phase of COVID, the volatility was such high that Nifty was moving almost 1,000 points in a day. Bank Nifty was moving almost 1,500, 2,000 points in a day. So that is known as extreme volatility. Almost 90%, 95% of the time, markets are not in that particular zone. It generally tends to be in a very subdued manner. It is only during extreme panic that the volatility increases. Plus, volatility does not mean only correction on the downside. Volatility can mean any side price swing. Please do understand that volatility is generally associated with panic and fear, but it's not the case. Volatility means extreme price swings in the market. It could be either on the upside, downside, uh, or the day could end absolutely flat. Nifty can move 500 points up. It can come back again towards the starting point and again witness a correction of 500 points, and then again come on the upside and close the day absolutely flat. So if you see the closing, open and close, it may look like the day has ended absolutely flat, but पूरे दिन के अंदर there is almost a 2000 point movement in Nifty. So that is known as volatility. So you should know, if you prefer trading in volatile markets, then go ahead, do it with a fixed stop loss. If you prefer to do trading in, if you do not have the risk appetite to trade in such volatility, then avoid trading in volatile scenarios. Whenever the markets are volatile, risk management is important every time, but as the volatility increases, risk management becomes equally more important. You should understand what is your risk appetite. आपका पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड में आप कितना रिस्क ले पा सकते हो, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड. आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट थ्रू अ वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल. व्हाट इज पोजीशन साइजिंग. ये स्टॉक्स के लिए वेरी यूजफुल, इट इज अ वेरी यूजफुल मेथड ऑफ डिसाइडिंग what quantity you should purchase while taking a position. So position sizing is a very simple formula. आप अगर गूगल पे भी अगर आप डालोगे the formula for deciding position sizing, it is very easy to find out. So let's take this example. मान लो कि ITC is currently trading at 450 rupees. आपने डिसाइड किया है बेस्ड ऑन द चार्ट या टेक्निकल पैरामीटर्स की 435 is where I am going to keep my stop loss. And मान लो आपके पास 1 लाख का कैपिटल है. So you know that 15 points on the downside is what is the maximum loss that I want to take in this particular trade. And you know that at the start at 2%, it is known as a strategy wherein you want to risk 2% of your capital on the particular trade. So मान लो आपके पास 1 लाख का कैपिटल है, तो 2000 आप रिस्क करना चाहते हो ये पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड में. So how many shares you want to purchase to execute this particular transaction with a 15 point stop loss is what is position sizing. So position sizing is basically, the formula tells us that 1 lakh into 2%, that is 2000 divided by 15 rupees, that is the stop loss that you want to maintain. So 2000 divided by 15 comes to 100, around 133. तो अगर आपने 133 शेयर्स बाय किए विद अ कैपिटल ऑफ 1 लाख, जो आपका 1 लाख का कैपिटल है, उसमें से आपने अगर 133 शेयर्स बाय किया है with a stop loss of 15 rupees, then you are position size, you have positioned yourself so that even if there is a correction on the downside, the maximum loss that you incur in this particular trade is 2% of your capital. So that's how basically position sizing works, wherein you decide what is the maximum loss that you want to incur in any particular trade. So I hope everyone has understood the idea of position sizing and how it can be made use of to determine what should be the number of quantity that you should purchase to take a particular trade, wherein you have predetermined that this is the maximum loss and that is what I'm going to take in a particular trade. See, whenever you are trading in the market, it is important to understand the psychological factors as well. Not everyone has the same risk appetite. Some people are not comfortable with trading in options या फिर doing intraday trading. It is not everyone's cup of tea. किसी किसी को फास्ट ट्रेड एग्जीक्यूशन करना पसंद नहीं रहता है, किसी को some people have a good what do you say temperament while trading in the short term. They are able to digest the volatility of the market. So it is important to understand what type of characteristic you as an individual have and then decide to trade in that particular segment. And the position size also, जो भी आप ट्रेड ले रहे हो, it should be such that it does not affect your judgment. कभी भी आप कोई जन रहते हैं जो इतना बड़ा ट्रेड लेते हैं कि even if there is a 5-10 point correction in the market, it sets in a negative, gets a fear in them. मतलब उनको जल्दी जल्दी अपने पोजीशन से बाहर निकलना है, कैसे भी करके अपने पोजीशन को क्लोज करना है. It brings wrong judgment into the picture. So always take a trade wherein you are comfortable with the position size and you do not panic if the trade goes against you. So that is also very important to understand while trading in the markets. And reviewing your position size. See, at the start, जब भी आप मान लो कि जब भी आपने markets were trading at 15,000, your portfolio value was around 15 lakhs. But as the markets have come from 15,000 towards 25,000 in the last 2-3 years, आपका पोर्टफोलियो वैल्यू भी काफी बड़ा हो चुका रहेगा. So the type of positions that you were taking when your portfolio was 15 lakhs and the type of positions that you're taking when your portfolio is around 20-22 lakhs is also slightly different. So you should take a position in such a manner that if there is a surge in the portfolio value, it should be meaningful, as well as if there is if it should not be that your position is so small that अगर वो पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक 20-30% ऊपर भी चला गया तो आपके पोर्टफोलियो में कुछ नहीं इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है. So your position should be such that if there is a correction, it should not impact you majorly, and if there is an appreciation also, it should have a meaningful impact on your portfolio. Maintaining a trading journal. So this is also very important. Anyone who is doing trading in the market should keep a track of the number of trades that he is executing, as well as the profit and loss, risk reward, and all the other factors should be always duly maintained. Maintaining a journal is very important. We also from the research team always maintain a journal of the trades that we execute on a day-to-day basis. So we know that when the days are sideways, it is better to if you are an option buyer, it is better to remain on the sidelines. जब भी एक trending market है, you should be much more aggressive. These are things that you generally come understand by trading and looking at the markets as well. But if you maintain a trading journal, you will understand that based on the days, how much risk you can take, what is the risk reward that you generally are comfortable with, आप कितने जल्दी एक पोजीशन को बंद करते हो if you go on the winning side. All these things you gradually understand as long as you maintain a trading journal along with you. So do consider, agar koi bhi if it is a short term trader, please do consider to maintain a trading journal at your end as well. The other point is diversification. जब भी आप कोई भी सेगमेंट में ट्रेड कर रहे हो, it is important to diversify your position as well. Do not keep all your stocks in means एक ही stock में पूरा position बनाना. If you have 1 lakh capital, consider to buy 2 to 3 stocks rather than putting the entire capital in one particular bet, because you never know what news can come regarding a particular stock. And especially there are traders who do such risky trading during the result season. Result season is one phase wherein we absolutely avoid that particular counter rather than even taking a position, because see, there is multiple opportunities to make money in the market. The risk reward is significantly higher. I mean, the risk is significantly higher during the election, I mean the result phase. भले ही आपको you may get quick capital on the upside, but if even one trade goes against you, 3-4 trades आपका profit का 3-4 trade निकल जाएगा उसमें से. So because the corrections can come within a fraction of a minute, and before you are able to react, there could be a sharp correction in the stock price. So we from the research team always advise to avoid trading during the result season, and it is we feel that there are a lot of opportunities. Even though you are what you are making is 2-3%, it is much better to do that in a safer manner rather than taking a risk of a large position. If there are various strategies that you can consider during the market phases, we'll just consider 2 of the examples and understand the type of derivative strategies that you can consider in the market. So a spread strategy, like the current scenario, you can see that markets from the last 6-7 trading sessions have constantly been going on the upside. See, even though you know that the trend is on the upside, आपको कभी भी नहीं मालूम रहेगा कि नेक्स्ट ट्रेडिंग डे में कैसे मार्केट खुल सकता है. इट कुड ऑलवेज बी, इवन दो द मार्केट्स आर 300 पॉइंट्स अप इन अ पर्टिकुलर डे, the next trading day there could be a slight pullback, or at any point of time there could be a pullback in the market. So if you are a positional trader and you are trading in the markets, it's always advisable, instead of buying naked call option या naked put option, consider to take the position in a spread manner. सी स्प्रेड में क्या होता है, आपको एक पर्टिकुलर स्ट्राइक प्राइस खरीदना रहता है एंड साइमल्टेनियसली एक स्लाइटली दूर स्ट्राइक प्राइस बेचना पड़ता है टू reduce the cost of the transaction as well as hedge your position. सो मान लो कि अभी मार्केट 25,050 के लेवल्स पे है, तो व्हाट यू डू इन अ बुल स्प्रेड स्ट्रेटजी इज यू बाय द 25,050 कॉल ऑप्शन एंड लगभग एक 200 पॉइंट दूर का स्ट्राइक प्राइस का एक कॉल ऑप्शन बेच भी देते हो. सो लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम एग्जैक्टली टेलिंग. सो मार्केट्स आर currently trading at 25,050 levels. What you do is you buy the 25,050 call option and you simultaneously sell the 25,250 call option. तो इससे क्या हो जाता है कि अगर आपने नेकेड कॉल ऑप्शन बाय किया रहता तो आपका कॉस्ट जो रहता है वो लगभग, मान लो अभी दिस इज एन एग्जांपल दैट आई हैव मेड, दैट 25,050 कॉल ऑप्शन का अगर प्राइस 100 रुपीज है तो आपका पूरा का पूरा 100 रुपीज भरना पड़ता. लेकिन अगर आपने एक स्प्रेड स्ट्रेटेजी की है तो आपको एक प्रीमियम अमाउंट मिल भी जाएगा. व्हेन यू सेल 25,250 कॉल ऑप्शन, आपको लगभग एक 20 रुपए मिल जाएगा. उससे आपका कॉस्ट ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन कम्स डाउन फ्रॉम 100 टुवर्ड्स 80. तो इसमें क्या है, भले ही मार्केट 25,250 के ऊपर भी अगर चला जाता है, यूर प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस इज लॉक्ड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटेजी. आपका मैक्सिमम लॉस कितना रहेगा एंड मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट कितना रहेगा इज कैलकुलेटेड राइट एट द स्टार्ट इटसेल्फ. तो दैट इज गुड वे टू हेज योर पोर्टफोलियो. तो जिनका व्यू रहता है कि मार्केट ये पर्टिकुलर लेवल से ऊपर नहीं जा सकता, देयर आर मेनी पीपल हु डू रेशियो स्प्रेड एज वेल. तो वो लोग क्या करते हैं, 25,050 का एक कॉल ऑप्शन लेते हैं और 25,250 का दो पुट ऑप्शन, आई मीन दो कॉल ऑप्शन बेच भी देते हैं. सो दीज आर वेरियस स्ट्रेटेजीज दैट ट्रेडर्स कैन कंसिडर टू इम्प्लीमेंट, बट यू शुड नो व्हाट इज द पे ऑफ डायग्राम. आपको पहले ही मालूम रहना चाहिए कि अलग अलग पॉइंट्स पे आपका प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस कितना रहेगा. सो हैविंग अ गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द पे ऑफ डायग्राम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट व्हेन यू डू अ स्प्रेड स्ट्रेटेजी. पे ऑफ डायग्राम इज नथिंग बट इट टेल्स यू कि अलग अलग लेवल्स पे अगर मार्केट ने ये पर्टिकुलर लेवल पे बंद दिया तो आपका मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट और लॉस कितना रहेगा ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटेजी में. सो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटेजी जो मैंने अभी एक्सप्लेन किया था, दैट इज द बुल स्प्रेड स्ट्रेटेजी, इसमें मैक्सिमम लॉस जो है वो 2,000 रुपीज का है, बिकॉज 80 पॉइंट्स का मैक्सिमम लॉस हो सकता है ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटेजी में. एंड मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट जो है दैट इज 120 पॉइंट्स या 3,000 रुपए का मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट है ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटेजी में. तो ये स्ट्रेटेजी में अगर इंडेक्स 25,250 के ऊपर भी 500 पॉइंट भी अगर ऊपर चला जाए तो भी आपको, मींस इट इज अ स्ट्रेटेजी वेयर यू यूज इट व्हेन यू हैव अ लिमिटेड व्यू ऑन द अपसाइड. मतलब आपको लग रहा है तेजी है, लेकिन ऐसा भी नहीं कि एक 500-600 पॉइंट भाग जाएगा इंडेक्स. आपको लग रहा है एक 100-200 पॉइंट तक जा सकता है. दैट इज द टाइम व्हेन यू कंसीडर टू डू अ बुल स्प्रेड स्ट्रेटेजी, बिकॉज if you have such a strong view on the upside, it is better to buy a direct naked call option during intraday. But the benefit of spread comes during carry forward as well. जब भी आप एक पोजीशन को कैरी फॉरवर्ड करते हो, you never know how the markets are going to open the next trading day. So that is where the spread strategy comes into benefit as well. The other strategy is volatility strategy. There are many people who consider this particular strategy, but इसमें एक slight drawback भी है. I will explain the benefit as well as the drawback of this particular strategy. तो मान लो this has to be done only when there you expect an extremely sharp movement in the market. मतलब एक बहुत ही बड़ा इवेंट है और जिसका आउटकम किसी को भी नहीं मालूम है. Those are the times when you can consider this particular strategy. तो मान लो इंडेक्स अभी 25,050 पे है, तो आपको साइमल्टेनियसली कॉल और पुट दोनों बाय करना है. आपको डायरेक्शन के बारे में मालूम नहीं है, बट आपको ये मालूम है कि एक बहुत ही बड़ा मूवमेंट आ सकता है मार्केट में. The movement in the market should be such that it should cover the total cost of your transaction. तो मान लो आपने कॉल ऑप्शन बाय करने के लिए लगभग 80 रुपीज दिया है एंड पुट ऑप्शन बाय करने के लगभग 100 रुपए दिया है. सो 180 is the total premium that you have paid to execute this particular transaction. The movement in the market should be such that it should cover the entire 180 point का movement and then further move on the upside or the downside. मतलब 180 का मिनिमम पॉइंट्स का एक मूवमेंट आना चाहिए, तभी आपको प्रॉफिट होगा ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटेजी में. एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज स्लाइटली चैलेंजिंग, बिकॉज कभी भी एक बड़ा इवेंट जब भी रहेगा, the option premiums tend to be inflated, जब उनका prices भी slightly inflated रहता है. So that is where the challenge comes. So, and as soon as the event gets over, the option premiums tend to shrink. So the event should be such that it should cause a very sharp movement in the markets, and that is the time when you will end up making profit and loss in this particular strategy. सो आई होप एवरीवन अंडरस्टूड. ये स्ट्रेटजी को आपको अप्लाई करना है व्हेन यू एक्सपेक्ट एन एक्सट्रीमली शार्प मूवमेंट इन ईदर डायरेक्शन. द डायरेक्शन कुड बी ईदर ऑन द अपसाइड और ऑन द डाउनसाइड. आपके पास दोनों है, कॉल और पुट दोनों है. एंड जब भी एक एक्सट्रीम मूवमेंट आएगा मार्केट में, दैट इज द टाइम यू विल एंड अप मेकिंग प्रॉफिट इन दिस पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटजी. सो ये वापस इसका पे ऑफ डायग्राम है. आप देख सकते हो, अगर इंडेक्स एक साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन फेज में चला जाता है ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटजी अपनाने के बाद, देन यू विल एंड अप ऑन द लूजिंग साइड, बिकॉज यू वांट एक्सट्रीम वॉलेटिलिटी. आपको चाहिए कि मार्केट में एक शार्प मूवमेंट हो. अगर इंडेक्स साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन फेज में चला जाए तो ये स्ट्रेटजी में आपको लॉस होगा. आपको प्रॉफिट होगा जब भी एक शार्प करेक्शन आएगा मार्केट में, या फिर अपसाइड में एक शार्प रैली आएगी. Now coming towards the risk part when you are doing in derivatives, तो ये सारे strategies में हमने mention किए. जिसमें highest risk है वो पिरामिड के ऊपर है, जिसमें सबसे least amount of risk है derivative trading में, वो सबसे नीचे mention किया है. तो naked short call and put option, मतलब आप option writing कर रहे हो और आपने मान लो 25,100 का call option बेच दिया है. आज मान लो देर इज समथिंग अ पॉजिटिव अनाउंसमेंट बाय द गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस कर दिया कि टैक्सेस को हम लोग कम कर रहे हैं, कॉर्पोरेट टैक्सेस को कम कर रहे हैं, एंड टुमारो देर इज अ 500 पॉइंट गैप अप ओपनिंग इन द मार्केट. दिस इज वन ऑफ द वर्स्ट रिस्किएस्ट स्ट्रेटजीज टू इम्प्लीमेंट, बिकॉज देर कुड बी सिग्निफिकेंट लॉसेज ऑफ योर कैपिटल. क्योंकि ब्रोकर तो हमेशा आपसे वो मार्जिन स्टार्ट में जब भी आप ऑप्शन राइटिंग करते हो, इट इज ऑलरेडी अ रिस्की स्ट्रेटजी. That is why a higher margin also is calculated, I mean is collected from the trader. And in option writing the settlement is on a day to day basis, मतलब उस दिन का लॉस जो है आपको उसी दिन कवर अप करना है. You cannot carry forward your losses, so you will have to pay the losses at the end of the day itself. उसको M2M भी कहा जाता है, मार्क टू मार्केट. तो आपको उसी दिन के अंदर आपको पोजीशन को लॉस भरना भी पड़ेगा. Only then you will be able to carry forward. एंड कि आपका व्यू है कि वापस मार्केट में एक पुल बैक नीचे की तरफ आ जाएगा, बट दैट कुड टेक 2-3 ट्रेडिंग सेशंस, बट यू डू नॉट हैव दैट मच कैपिटल. दैट मींस एट द एंड ऑफ द डे योर पोजीशन विल बी स्क्वेयर्ड ऑफ बाय द ब्रोकर. तो ये पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड में ये भी चैलेंज है कि आपको उतना लिमिटेड टाइम फ्रेम के अंदर आपका व्यू रहना चाहिए कि आपके पोजीशन आपके फेवर में आ जाए. सो दैट इज द रिस्क इफ यू आर डूइंग नेकेड कॉल ऑप्शन राइटिंग या नेकेड पुट ऑप्शन राइटिंग. सो नेकेड पुट ऑप्शन राइटिंग ऑल्सो देयर इज रिस्क. मान लो कि कल कोई कैटास्ट्रॉफिक इवेंट हो जाता है इंडिया के अंदर या बाहर में, एंड इफ देयर इज अ 500-600 पॉइंट गैप डाउन ओपनिंग, एंड इफ यू हैव सोल्ड 24,900 या 24,800 पुट ऑप्शन एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट द मार्केट ट्रेंड टू रिमेन ऑन द पॉजिटिव साइड, तो इसमें भी आपको काफी लॉस हो सकता है. सो ऑलवेज व्हेन यू आर डूइंग ऑप्शन राइटिंग, डू कंसिडर टू डू इट इन अ हेज्ड मैनर. मतलब आपके जो पोजीशन है उसके सामने एक कॉन्ट्रा पोजीशन भी रहे, भले भी वो स्लाइटली आउट ऑफ द मनी ऑप्शंस में है, एंड इट मे नॉट बी अ सिग्निफिकेंट अमाउंट, बट इट इज ऑलवेज बेटर टू डू अ हेज स्ट्रेटजी. दैट इज इफ देयर इज एनी एक्सट्रीम मूवमेंट, दैट पर्टिकुलर द अदर लेग ऑफ द ट्रांजैक्शन कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर, एंड आपके कैपिटल को टू एन एक्सटेंट इट इज एबल टू प्रोटेक्ट यू. सो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट व्हेन यू आर डूइंग इंट्राडे ट्रेडिंग या शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेडिंग. And especially if you are carrying forward your position, then please do trades in a hedged manner. The safest among the trades is buying of call and put options. भले इसमें probability slightly less है. See, probability in terms of selling options is higher than buying options. That I agree. And there are a lot of people who are attracted towards option selling because the higher probability of success. Why the probability of success is higher during option selling? See, at any point of time, there are 3 events which can happen in the market. Markets can move on the upside, that is 33% chance. If the markets witness a sideways consolidation, that is a 33% chance. And the markets can correct on the downside, that is a 33% chance. So at any point of time, there is three events that can take place. Option sellers make money. So suppose there is a call option seller, he will make money if the index witnesses a sideways consolidation or witnesses a correction on the downside. So for a call option seller, the probability of success is 66%, while for a call option buyer, the probability of success is 33%, because he will make money only when the index will move on the upside. But even though your probability of success is less in option buying, the risk also is less during this trade. So it actually balances out, the risk reward factors balance out during such transactions. Even though your probability is less, your risk also is slightly on the lesser side, and that is why there is still a good amount of traders who do option buying rather than going towards the option selling part. These are few pointers that you should keep at the back of your mind whenever you're doing option trading, especially in derivatives. ऑप्शन में या फ्यूचर्स में हमेशा आपको स्टॉप लॉस के साथ ही काम करना है, बिकॉज दी मार्केट्स आर क्वाइट वॉलेटाइल एंड चॉपी. जैसे कि आज अगर किसी ने फिन निफ्टी का ट्रेडिंग देखा रहेगा, बहुत बार ऑप्शन का प्रीमियम 100 से 50 आया है, 30 रुपए के पास आया, वापस 30 रुपए से 100 तक गया है. दिस हैपन्स मल्टीपल टाइम्स ड्यूरिंग द डे. So if you are doing scalping, जो हम लोग कहते हैं, capturing small points within the index, it is very important to maintain a stop loss. I'll explain why it is important. मान लो आपने ऑप्शन प्रीमियम कोई 100 रुपए पे खरीदा है, एंड जनरली वी टेंड टू मेंटेन अ स्टॉप लॉस अबाउट 20-25 पॉइंट्स. काफी बार ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि वो जस्ट आपके स्टॉप लॉस को टेस्ट करके वापस ऊपर की तरफ भाग जाए. सो मान लो कि आपने 100 रुपए पे एक ऑप्शन प्रीमियम बाय किया है, आपने स्टॉप लॉस मेंटेन किया है 80 रुपीज का, इंडेक्स ऑप्शन का प्रीमियम 77-76 तक आता है, एंड वापस उतना टेस्ट करने के बाद वापस फट से 130 तक चला जाता है. आपको लगेगा कि स्टॉप लॉस रखने का क्या जरूरत है, अगर नहीं रखते तो हमारा पोजीशन प्रॉफिट में चला जाता था. दैट हैपन्स 1-2-3 टाइम्स आउट ऑफ 20-30 ट्रेड्स. बट इफ यू डू नॉट मेंटेन योर स्टॉप लॉस, देर इज अ चांस दैट वो सीधा 100 से 20 रुपीज भी आ सकता है ऑप्शन का प्रीमियम. फिर 20 रुपए से वापस 100 रुपीज तक रिकवर करना काफी चैलेंजिंग है, एंड इट इज एन एक्सट्रीमली डिफिकल्ट टास्क wherein you will make the wrong judgments and wrong trades in the process of recovering your option premium. So always maintain a stop loss. Stop loss derivatives में do not think that you are a bad trader because your stop loss has got hit. Stop loss is a very useful what you say savior in derivative trading. It helps you protect your capital. आप अगर आपका कैपिटल प्रोटेक्ट करोगे तभी लंबे समय तक आपका पोजीशंस रहेगा मार्केट में, एंड द लॉन्गर यू आर इन द मार्केट, द हायर द चांस ऑफ मेकिंग प्रॉफिट इन द मार्केट. द अदर पॉइंट इज लिवरेज. जब भी मार्केट वॉलेटाइल हो जाता है, लिवरेज इज अ डबल एज स्वॉर्ड. अगर एक डायरेक्शन रैली हो जाता है मार्केट में, आप काफी पैसा बना पाते हो, लेकिन अगर सेलिंग प्रेशर आ जाता है और आपका बड़ा पोजीशन है, then you can be on the losing side as well. So understand the type of market that is, and accordingly decide the leverage that you want to consider. The last point is hedge strategies. जैसे मैंने कहा था, जब भी आप derivatives में ट्रेड कर रहे हो और आप overnight positions carry कर रहे हो, that is you are taking your positions from one day to the next trading day, always consider to do it in a hedged manner rather than naked buying of call and put options. So that's it for today's session. Participants who have any queries regarding the topic, you can please do ask your queries. Thank you. Thank you so much for having taken the time out and having attended today's session. Please do note that I will not be able to take any questions, stock specific questions in today's session. If you have any questions regarding the topic, please do ask. आपको डेरिवेटिव्स के अंदर कोई भी क्वेश्चन रहेगा या फिर आज के टॉपिक के रिगार्डिंग कोई भी क्वेश्चंस है, प्लीज डू आस्क योर क्वेरीज. Thanks, Siddharth. Thank you for regularly attending our webinars. Uh, Thank you so much. So there is a question regarding investing in arbitrage CW funds. I personally do not have much knowledge regarding this. I'll definitely have a look at the particular mentioned question. And in next session that we have, I'll definitely have a better answer to give you on this particular question. See, arbitrage funds are basically funds trying to capture profits in a riskless manner. So it'll have to be seen what are the underlyings that this particular fund is trying to capture in. I'll just have a look at it and I'll respond in the next session. So there is a question. I think please elaborate on the first part of India VIX. So I presume that is the question. So I'll just explain briefly once again regarding India VIX. See, do not go into the calculation part of India VIX because it is slightly complicated to actually calculate India VIX. NSE readily does it for you and provides you the value. It takes out of the money options of the next month and calculates India VIX. India VIX is generally used as a contra indicator by traders. I'll explain the reason why it is used as a contra indicator. So the reason is India VIX tends to rise whenever there is sharp buying of options in the market. The option can be either call option or it can be put option. Any of the two, whenever there is sharp buying in the market, India VIX can rise on the upside. What we observe is most of the time it is put options which are bought in a frantic manner. Panic जब भी होता है, put options is the thing which is purchased. Can If the index markets are going gradually on the upside, then no one tends to get scared. Everyone is happy, they are making money in their long only portfolio and सबका position अच्छा खासा ऊपर जा रहा है. The panic comes in when there is a sharp dip in the market, like we had observed about a month or so back, wherein there was a 1,000 point correction almost in two trading sessions. That is the time when panic sets in the market. And portfolio traders also and the fund managers also who have huge positions in cash consider to take few put options to hedge their existing portfolio. So when they do that, India VIX tends to rise. So you hope you understood that India VIX can rise when there is call option buying or put option buying. But when the most of the time it is due to put option buying, because that's when there is sharp buying of options. If you can use it in intraday trade also. You will generally see that India VIX has an inverse correlation with the market movement. Whenever Nifty, it is not 100%, but most of the time it moves that VIX. When VIX is declining, markets are trending on the upside, and whenever VIX is surging, the markets could be under a bit of selling pressure. There are instances where VIX also is rising and India VIX also, I mean, markets are also rising. I have seen such type situations also. So that's why I'm saying it cannot be used as your only indicator, but it gives you a very good reference of the type of volatility and the panic that is there currently in the market. So there is a question: can we get leverage on ETF? I'll have to check that, because if it is the E margin type leverage, then I'll definitely have to check once with the backend team, and then I can get back to you on this particular question. You can also get in touch with your RM and ask if it is a Nifty ETF, whether the leverage is allowed for you on this particular transaction. I have not come across this particular question, but I'll also definitely have a look once at it, because it I presume you can get leverage because it acts as a stock itself. It's like a similar to a stock. It's there in your portfolio, and whenever you feel an extreme view on the market, you can take a leverage position. Whether contraction in VIX implies unwinding of OTM call and puts. Uh, to an extent, yes, because the calculating formula itself takes the out of the money contracts into picture, and is not just the out of the money, it is also the next month contracts which are taken into consideration. So whenever there is unwinding, means the panic has people are closing out their existing positions, and that's when the VIX will tend to have a contraction. Matlab, you had a view that the markets could correct, you have purchased out of the money next month contracts, and your view has gone right, or your view has gone wrong, and you tend to close out your positions, and that's when there could be a contraction in India VIX, which results in the reversion in the price. So, what if you are sure that the markets will fall by 1000 to 1500 points by December end? The challenge in this is uh, see, if you go to buy December contracts, I'll tell you the practical challenge. It's the view may be absolutely correct, but making money with such a view is challenging. See, the December contract will be trading at a high premium because there is a lot of time for the markets till December. There is almost 4 months from now. So the further the away the strike price, the contract from expiry, the higher the premium associated with it. Now, suppose you take an example. I'll just take an example. Suppose the December contract, that is 25,000, December contract is trading at 2,000. So 2,000 is what it is. Suppose it is trading at. I'm just explaining from an example perspective. I do not remember or recollect the exact, but I'm very sure that the premium price is very high and elevated. So it suppose it is 2,000 rupees. Your view is there could be a correction of 1,500 points. So your break-even cost itself will be at 23,000. You will make money only once the index witnesses a correction below 23,000 on the downside. So your view should be such that it should overcome the cost of your transaction. So 1,500 point will end up for you on the losing side. Even though your view is correct, markets will not go even 1 point higher, about 25,000, and there could be 1,500 point correction. Still, you will end up on the losing side because of the cost of the premium will be such that your break-even point comes significantly higher. So if you are confident that there could be a much larger correction in the market higher than the premium that you have placed and the break even point, then definitely you can go ahead with the transaction. So I hope I was able to explain that particular point, that many times our view is correct, but we should take a lot of other factors also into picture while trading in the derivative segment. The cost of the transaction, the probability of success. So there is a suggestion also from Siddharth. Please invite some non-equity fund managers who manage debt-based funds. No one on TV non-equity fund managers. They discuss bonds. So definitely we can. I'll ask someone from the equity team also to discuss regarding debt-based products. If there is a requirement for that as well, we can definitely have a session on that as well. So there are no questions at present regarding the topic. I hope I am able to cover as much as possible in today's session. Thank you to all the participants, sabhi participants ka thank you for having taken the time out and having attended the session today. We will be having a lot more session in derivatives and in equities as well. If you have any queries, if you have any suggestions regarding the topics as well, you can please do send it to us. We will be more than happy to take your suggestions. Thank you so much for having taken the time out today.